It's December 20th, and the strange side of history awaits. Today, we have a killer who vanished into legend, a power source that changed the world, and an assassination so violent it rewrote history. Let's begin. On December 20th, 1968, two teenagers pulled their car into a quiet stretch of road near Lake Herman, California. It was cold, dark, and empty. David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen never made it home. Sometime after 11 p.m., an unseen figure approached their parked car. There were no witnesses, no warning, only gunshots that shattered the silence of the countryside. David was killed almost instantly, but Betty Lou tried to run, her footprints still visible in the dirt, but she collapsed before reaching safety. At first, police believed it was a random Lover's Lane killing, but weeks later, cryptic letters began to arrive at the newspaper. The writer claimed responsibility, and he called himself the Zodiac. Inside the envelopes were taunts, threats, and coded messages daring authorities to catch him, and they never did. More murders followed, more letters, and more fear. Decades later, the Zodiac killer remains unidentified, leaving behind only ciphers, taunts, and trails of unanswered questions that still haunt investigators today. On December 20th, 1973, just another morning after Mass in Madrid, Spain's most powerful man stepped into his armored car. Prime Minister Luis Carrero Blanco followed the same route every day, same church, same street, same time. He never saw what was buried beneath the road. As the car passed over a quiet residential street, the underground bomb detonated with catastrophic force. The explosion was so violent it hurled the vehicle into the air, clearing a 5-story building before crashing into a nearby courtyard, an image so surreal witnesses thought it was impossible. Carrero Blanco was killed instantly. The assassins, members of the ETA, escaped through the tunnels they had secretly dug for months beneath the city. Within minutes, they vanished. The killing shattered Spain's political future and weakened the dictatorship and accelerating its path to democracy. To this day, it remains one of the most chilling and bizarre assassinations in modern history. On December 20th, 1951, in the frozen desert of Idaho, far from the cities and crowds, 4 light bulbs flickered on the inside a small, unassuming building. No applause, no announcement, just quietly glowing in the darkness. But that light came from something the world had never truly harnessed before. Inside the experimental Breeder Reactor 1, scientists had achieved the impossible, producing usable electricity from nuclear power. The same force that had destroyed entire cities 6 years earlier was now being tamed, controlled, and converted into energy. The bulbs glowed steadily, powered by the splitting of atoms. To those present, it was a triumph of human ingenuity. To history, it was the beginning of something far more unsettling. This single experiment opened the doors to nuclear power plants, nuclear weapons, and decades of fear tied to invisible radiation. What began as a quiet scientific victory would later become one of the greatest sources of fear in modern history. And in the silence, the nuclear age began, not with an explosion, but with 4 small lights in the dark. Another day, another strange bite from history. Like, comment, and subscribe. Your next Eerie dose is just a day away.